Guess what my name is? Naysayer. Have you heard what Farming Revolution's doing? Starting up its own membership. Because Farming Revolution YouTube channel will be opening up a membership specifically for multi-species cash crop. The cash is really important. I know a lot of farmers in America are all about cover crops, which is fantastic. We love covering the ground, it's all good. But imagine if you can cover the ground and make a profit with a cash crop incorporated into your multi-species as well. And it sounds fantastic, but how can I possibly make a profit from a multi-species cover crop? Well, and it can be done on varying different degrees. Have a grazing multi-species cash crop. Your cash crop is the livestock that you're grazing. If you're clever with it, you can have two cash crops. One is your actual crop and the other one is your livestock. Nah, that sounds way too difficult. How am I going to fit it in with my system? How am I going to make any money from a multi-species, apparently cash crop? How's that going to work for me? Nah, you can forget that. And this also does depend on where you live. So summer here, our growth rate is just astronomical. So it would be a lot easier in summer here to do a double whammy where you're growing livestock and you're growing the multi-species to harvest as a cash crop. So anyway, we're going to discuss all this on the membership. But I still don't know how it's going to work for me. What can Farming Revolution offer me so I can change my name? And what should you expect? A brand new multi-species video every month, 2 lives a month. One of those lives will be whoever stars in the video. So if it's Darren Mudford, like you've seen him, he will come on in a live. And it's specifically so that once you've watched the video, the follow-up will be the live so that you can ask questions specifically about the video. Oh, I really enjoy those videos with Darren and Martin. Yeah, Darren seems to have a really good business mind. Interesting.
But it's also about being practical, isn't it? About extracting profit out of the system.
I probably come from a practicality side of things with the mixes I do, and it's got to be able to manage it forward, as in, like Martin said, the big, the little, the long and the small, as far as easy to grade apart and that sort of stuff.
You having direct access via the comment section, obviously you're not going to be actually talking to him, but you'll be asking you questions and listening to his answers in real time, live, on this channel, all right? Amazing value for money, $40 a month, right? The second live video will be absolutely definitely with me and with Martin Williams, who you know through the playlist, and he's a little character, isn't he? Old Martin Williams, the seed grader from Nyngan. Yes, I remember that live. That was a couple of years ago. Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it because I'm always trying to throw in some curly questions for that Martin Williams.
Our most successful crops that we grow here are winter crops. Guys have had a bit of a go at growing summer crops sometimes, and you've got to have all the ducks line up to get a summer crop off. This is traditionally winter crop country.
Hopefully there'll be other guests that will either come and go with that session or more of a regular guest, and I've got one person in mind and he has actually said yes, and that's Kevin Elmy.
Give you a little story with this cover crop behind me. So what I've done is the year before I grew soybeans, harvested the soybeans for seed production, and then we got snow, it overwintered. Then in the spring what I did is I seeded, this is crimson clover, Persian clover, Berseem clover, some Phacelia, some pearl millet, and some perennial ryegrass, which we were planning on growing for seed production. It's a biennial grass, so it will overwinter. So when I'm talking about growing these cover crops, I'm talking about 5 functional plant groups. So we're dealing with our grasses, we're dealing with our legumes, our brassicas, non-brassicas, and forbs. And so this nice little Phacelia plant over here, that's what I check off as being one of our forbs. So I seeded this all together, did not harvest it. This biomass was about mid-thigh high. And people are saying, well, you can't do that because, you know, the perennial ryegrass is only 5 centimeters tall. It's going to need sunlight. And I keep telling them about plant ecology and all this other good stuff. But so what happened was we had this huge biomass growing in the field, lots of legumes. So my goal was to grow the perennial ryegrass without buying any nitrogen fertilizer, which it worked.
Seriously though, what use as a Canadian and an Australian for me, because I live in the UK? So it means then that you've got a seed grader from Australia, you've got cover crops from Canada, Western Canada, and if I can play my cards right, I might find somebody else somewhere else in the world who's really into this cash crop with the multi-species side of it, so that you as members have all of the climate, all of the environment across the world covered. Pardon the pun. Actually, I may have a mate that might be interested. I mean, he's tinkering around with all this multi-species. Maybe he could get in contact with you. I'll ask him, see what he says. All right, so it's specifically about multi-species cash crop in whichever environment and business enterprise that you have. Specifically, those videos are for you, the members, and you will have one of my amazing videos once a month specifically about multi-species farming.
I mean, for me, until I started looking at it, say 5 or 6 years ago, I didn't understand the whole system of what nature actually does and all that, because no one's ever out there to tell you. Like that's the, you don't learn it at school. I mean, if you go to become an agronomist or something like that and study it, the chemical companies are in behind the universities teaching it, so they're always feeding them their information. So
Yeah.
you're really in a bit of a jam as far as, you know, you've got to come back to things like Christine Jones' stuff and all that, you know, Gabe Brown's, all those people in the world that have done that sort of stuff to actually get the information you really need.
The normal YouTube channel will run alongside it, so we're going to have the membership, you'll have the brand new videos, you will be treated like gold, but my regular subscribers will have videos. It just, that there might be the snippets, there might not be, well, there definitely won't be the depth, because you're going to have to pay for the depth. All right, okay, this is starting to sound like a good idea. Maybe the naysayer could come and join the conversation. It is pretty good value for money though. Might be convincing me.
All of our cash crops, all of our forages, everything multi-species, harvesting them and probably sometimes, most times replanting seed mixes. Then we just need the technology, and Martin's going to be talking about this afternoon, if you grow them all together and then separating them later. It's a technological issue. And that way we're enhancing the biology. We just need the technology to do it. And humans are good at technology. Once we get our heads around the biology and why we're doing it, we're good at the technology for sorting that out. So, you know, people commonly say, oh, you can't grow all those things in with wheat because you won't be able to separate them out, and Martin's going to give you the answer to that this afternoon.
And I'm not scared to say it, because if you want Farming Revolution to continue, you're going to have to pay for the information now. That's where I've got to. I never wanted to say this, but also I hate adverts. And if I can get rid of the adverts to earn money, I get paid sort of like $170 every 2 months or something to have my videos ruined by adverts. I can't stand adverts. So I would like to have that money that I earn on a monthly basis through the memberships to get rid of, to improve the quality of my channel, to get rid of those adverts so that we can all have a better value for viewership. Okay. But you've shown all the videos with everybody else. I want to know if you, Tamsin, have any experience with the multi-species. But what I really want to show you, and it's really interesting, is I sowed multi-species cover crop. Now you know from the other videos that the cover crop was predominantly canola. There was a little bit of millet that came up, a few sunflowers, but nothing really to sort of give you any idea that I planted a multi-species. What's really interesting now is when I harvested, I allowed the canola crop to stay alive. So I topped them, and the ones that were strong enough reflowered, fed the bees. Then what happened was I didn't put any animals in here, I just let it go into what we would class as a weed pit. So there are all different weeds in here, and the beautiful thing is they are my multi-species cover crop. Well, it does look like you've got all the bases covered. Used the same pun. All right then, well, when does this membership start up? I'm starting it from now, and I'm just getting everything organised so that by January 2025, we can start rocking and rolling with this YouTube membership. Okay, so I look forward to actually interacting with you all, because that would be great. I've loved your comments, but you know, sometimes I struggle to answer it because I'm not the expert. I'm just somebody who loves putting everybody together, loves asking questions, as you know, and so I'm playing to my strength. So the membership for the YouTube channel, Farming Revolution, starts January 2025. All right. Well, this naysayer is going to change her name. See you all there.